You were here because of the fact you were charged with the offense of driving a license suspended in the 3rd degree. Alleged occurred in Mason County, Washington on or about the 17th of August 2019. This charge is a misdemeanor and is punishable by 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Were you present when I went through the rights?
Yes, I was, sir.
Did you have any question about those rights?
Kind of, yes.
Oh, God. Okay, so this guy, look, I'm assuming this guy over here, he's sitting at the prosecution table, so I'm assuming he's the prosecution lawyer. This guy over here is the defendant, and he doesn't have a lawyer with him. So I'm assuming this guy is representing pro se, which means without a lawyer. If you don't know, you can technically go to court and not have a lawyer, even though one, under the Constitution, it's been found after some rulings that you have to be given a lawyer. But you can say, no, I would like to represent myself. I'm moving forward pro se, and I don't want a lawyer. This is stupid. Never ever do it. There's an old saying that he who represents himself in court has a fool for a client. Even if you are a legal professional, let's say you're a lawyer, it would be a bad idea to represent yourself because you're too close to it emotionally. It's about you, which is why you get outside legal counsel, even if you were a lawyer. That's not even to start with someone who's never been to law school trying to defend themselves in a court that you expressly need a legal background in to navigate. There's so much paperwork involved in going to court. I'm not even talking about like when you're in the courtroom and you're like trying to decide when you should object, if you should object, what questions you should answer, how you should answer them. Like, I'm just talking about the paperwork. It's ridiculous, and you have to file motions, and you have to file them correctly and make sure that they're done by certain dates. And if you don't do this, your entire case will fall apart. So never, ever, ever represent yourself in court. Bad idea.
Corpus delicti.
Yeah, for traffic stuff, you don't have to be given a lawyer. I'm more talking like criminal. In criminal stuff, you have to be given a lawyer.
In this case, is kind of
traffic court is usually its own thing.
funky, being the state of Washington, as seems to be me to be a fictitious plaintiff. In a sense, I can't subpoena a plaintiff that doesn't exist as a person.
You exist. You exist as a person. You're here.
We're going to talk about a couple things first because what you're saying is gibberish. It's gibberish. You don't even know what corpus delicti is.
Corpus delicti produce the victim.
No, it's not. This is a thing sovereign citizens do too. They think that there's this concept in the law called corpus delicti, and corpus delicti basically says that in order for someone to be indicted or convicted of a crime, there needs to be corpus delicti. What that means is there needs to be evidence to the facts of the crime. So if you're saying someone stole something, someone committed larceny, and they took something, then there needs to be evidence that that happened, right? An example that's often given when talking about corpus delicti, like if you Google it, when you Google it, one of the examples is often like someone who is the victim of a crime. Like if I assault someone and then they go to the cops, the corpus delicti in that case could be considered the person who was assaulted saying this happened. Their testimony, their recollection, and the testimony that they provide is corpus delicti in that it is evidence to the fact that the crime happened. However, sovereign citizens take this one example and then assume that all corpus delicti inherently is the victim of a crime coming forward to say that they have done something or that something has happened to them by the defendant. That's not the case. Like, if your fingerprints are found at a crime, that's corpus delicti. That's evidence. That's what that means. It doesn't have to literally be someone the crime happened to. That's just an example. Antipodian Squid, reasons not to represent exhibit. Onision, you try to press charges against the wrong Chris Hansen. That was funny when that happened. Dr. Gamble with 20 bits. It was in that moment that the judge said to himself, oh no. MMO Addicted. Well, my character is doing good in another campaign. She's the mom of the group and recently adopted her 30th kid, an elf 20 times her age. My God. But yeah, sovereign citizens misunderstand corpus delicti, and they'll use it to defend actions like speeding or driving without a license, because they'll say, like, well, who's the victim of this crime? There can't be a crime without a victim. Not understanding that, like, for one thing, traffic violations like driving without a license are usually considered civil infractions, not crimes. The difference being that crimes tend to have to do with, how do I put this? Crimes have to do with, like, things you do to others, or things that you are supposed to do within society as a whole. This is sort of thinking about jurisprudence and how it applies in American law. Crimes are like the responsibilities you have in society. In society, you have responsibilities to not break the law. You have responsibilities to not hurt others and harm them or take their property. Those are criminal offenses when you break those things. Civil infractions are more about responsibilities we have to each other in society. So, like, speeding, that's a civil infraction because we have a responsibility in society to not speed, to protect the safety of others around us. So it's a little bit different, right? It has to do with what is something that is a grievous breaking of the social contract in the case of a crime, and in a civil infraction, it's more along the lines of, we have responsibilities to one another and we enshrine these in civil infractions, but it doesn't reach the level of a crime. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Antipodian Squid. Reasons not to represent oh, no, already read that. Sorry. Lonesome Troll with a bit. So I know I've been here for a while, but what exactly are sovereign citizens? Sovereign citizens are individuals that believe that the law either doesn't apply to them because they claim that they are not citizens of the United States, but they are sovereign. They are an individual who no authority applies to them. But it's also an umbrella term that also includes people who use pseudo-legal nonsense that has no basis in actual law to try and get out of breaking the law. Stuff like this. This person trying to say there's no corpus delicti in this case, even though they don't know what corpus delicti actually means. Freaking Out 99. Last session, my dwarf friend drank 6 times his volume in beer. His con saves were so good, sometimes he got more sober. Then he went outside and sang Diggy Diggy Hole. What?
No, that's not what it means.
Definitions here.
We're not here to argue with you, Mr. Smith. So, before I get to the next part of this arraignment, we're not going to complete the arraignment today for a reason I'm going to get to in a minute, but is there anything else you want to bring up? Because
I just want to be able to have the victim present since it's a criminal matter, correct?
Here's the situation. I'm gathering, it sounds to me like you might be kind of dabbling.
It's a
in
Twitter
sovereign
poll.
citizens.
That's right, capitalistic propaganda.
Sure sounds like
That
it.
sounds.
Here's how it works. Pay close attention.
9802, thanks for following.
Simply because the fact there's no, quote, identifiable victim doesn't mean that behavior is not a crime. The state the state legislature has chosen to, which it has authority to do under the Washington State Constitution, to make driving offenses, including licensing offenses. There is no victim that need be present. The only person that ever need to be present in court is any witnesses who claim they have evidence towards whether or not you committed the crime or not.
Diggy Diggy Hole. What is this? Can I play this? Is this copyrighted? I mean, everything's copyrighted, but, like, am I gonna get dinged for this? but the poll says 55% of people don't think there should be a smooth transition of power. Yeah, it's a Twitter poll. Don't look at Twitter polls and assume they're representative of the population. They never are.
Brothers of the mind rejoice. Sing, sing, swing with me. Racial pick and racial voice. Sing, sing, sing with me. Down and down into the deep. Who knows what we'll find beneath? Diamonds, rubies, gold and more. Hidden in the mountain store. Born underground. Some
All right.
The presumption is you do not commit this crime. And we're not going to have an argument about it.
No.
That's just the way it is. So at this point, my question to you was, sir, do you have any questions
Old Minecraft meme? Okay. You gotta get to the chorus? Oh, God.
about the rights that I just went through? That should be either yes or no. Do you have any questions about the rights I just put on the record?
Just the corpus.
Yogg's cast?
not
I've
one
never
of the
seen
rights I put on
Yogg's
the
cast.
Okay.
We're going to try it again.
Is it
Do you have any question about any rights that I went through today?
Constitution?
Sir, you should answer the question.
I-
If you fail to
I-
answer the question, you may be sanctioned.
You'll be held in contempt if you don't answer my question.
No, I don't have any question or any questions.
No, that's not true either. You have a Fifth Amendment right to not self-incriminate. So if you're asked direct questions and the answer to that question would incriminate you, you do not have to answer. Let's say you broke into a store and you stole a skateboard. And they literally ask you, hey, did you break into the store and steal a skateboard and you're under oath? First of all, if you did, you're not supposed to say no, because you can't lie in court, right? That's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. But you can say legally, I plead the fifth. I'm not going to answer that, because the answer, the truthful answer, would be incriminating. That's a very black and white example, but nonetheless, it works like that. But if you're in court and they're asking you questions to move the case forward, you can't just not answer questions that are procedural in nature. Those are necessary, and if you don't answer, you can be held in contempt of court. You don't have a Fifth Amendment right, and I know they say, you have a right to remain silent. That's true, in the sense that you don't have to answer any questions that, are incriminating, or if you're, being interrogated by the police, you have a right to not speak until your lawyer's present. But nonetheless, in court, if they're asking you procedural questions, there you don't have the right to remain silent. You have to answer procedural questions. 74, Quinn74, a YouTuber from the Yogg's Cast group would sing a phrase, diggy diggy hole, as a dwarf character in Minecraft, and they made it a song eventually. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay? Did you understand your rights?
Yeah, you understand.
Don't address courts as yes. Yes, no, yes, Your Honor, no,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Your Honor. I understand my rights.
Okay?
Sounds like an angry teenager who's being, questioned by his
You
parents.
can turn the phone off because you're not a lawyer.
I requested permission.
I know that. What else do you need to address today that you need research for?
I don't need research for
Then
it.
turn the phone off. Now.
The court near me doesn't even allow you to bring phones into the building, much less in the courtroom. Probably different for lawyers than it is for jurors, but I'm just saying the vast majority of people who go into the building aren't allowed to bring their phones. Skjald Menerik with a bit. And then the band Windrose picked it up and made a really great cover of Diggy Diggy Hole.
Turn the phone off now or you're going to go into jail for contempt of court.
Okay.
Bring it up and show the clerk.
Act like a kid, get treated like a kid.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
He said, turn off my phone now, like my English teacher did in junior year. Yeah, has the same energy.
Okay? This is what we are going to do today. The court is going to reset this arraignment for 1 week from today at 1:30. You will need to be here. The reason for that is because the trooper, in his infinite wisdom, only wrote in his probable cause affidavit, stop for no license plate, no trip permit. That doesn't tell me anything, and I can't make a finding. That there's probable cause for this charge to go forward. So the only authority I have in this case at this time is to require that you come back to court on a later date. Do you have anything else you need to address today?
I have nothing else I need to address.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Asking the question, that question, I didn't mean to offend you.
You're not offending me, but I'd suggest either we learn.
Means the DNA of the soul.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Greed, despair, wounds.
I don't even know what game this is from.
Shit. Is that a meme? Now there's a pretty meme. Exquisite.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Kathy7407 with 100 bits. If a dude in his 40s says to a woman, "You look very young," upon seeing a picture, does that mean he's panicking that you're underage? M30, look a bit younger, maybe. Maybe. I have no idea. MST3K fan 77, I miss the spooky ghosts. I'd honestly feel better if a literal spooky ghost was in my room right now as opposed to a sovereign citizen.
A lot of law real
Metal
quick.
Gear Rising. Okay.
Perhaps see about being represented.
I haven't played the Metal Gear games.
Just had an issue in Thurston.
You just have an issue in Thurston?
I had an issue in Thurston too that had to do with the same issue.
I've heard they're good. I don't know.
Well, one thing I don't do here is I'm going to listen to any legal argument that's a valid legal argument. That doesn't mean whether I agree with it or not, but whether it's well-founded. Corpus electi, for your information, involves a requirement that before a defendant's confession, you can shut your book, I'm telling you what it is, and I've been practicing law for 37 years. And corpus electi is a requirement that before, in the state of Washington, a person's confession to a crime can be admitted. There has to be some independent evidence that the crime charge actually occurred. So you don't get convicted based on confession alone. That's what it means in the state of Washington. It's a minority rule, quite frankly. Many states don't have that kind of
There's nothing funny about the tools
So
of
I'm not going to
capitalism.
hear an argument from you about
Lonesome Troll for Halloween, I'll go as a sovereign citizen.
corpus electi or produce a
Get like a cardboard box to like wear that looks like a car, and then put like a fake like sovereign citizen license plate on the back, and then like go up to people and be like, "Why are you stopping me, officer? I'm traveling." No one will get it, but I'll think it's hilarious.
victim on a driving license, spend a third, and you're on notice. I'm already ruling we don't need to have a quote victim. Come forward.
Anything signed about the judge's signature? Issuing a new hearing on September 3rd.
I might be penalized if I don't sign.
I'll have you thrown in jail if you don't. That sound like a penalty?
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Consider the costume done. Make that costume and send me a picture. Cardboard box. Oh God.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Snake, the R&D team came up with something new.
What's this?
It's a cardboard tank. It's got enough room for 2 people. Same as any other cardboard box. Apparently the guy in front drives, and the guy in back is the gunner.
Hold on, Kaz. Who the hell came up with this thing?
I'm sorry, boss. He meant well, I swear. I know it's nowhere as good as a real tank, but still.
It's brilliant!
Huh?
The perfect synthesis of stealth and attack power. Compact, elegant design. The finest example of a weapon I've ever seen. Seriously, Kaz, I need to meet the guy who made this. I want to shake his hand.
You serious? Snake, look at it.
It's a masterpiece in every sense of the word. You don't agree?
No,
What is that? A tank? I like it.
Paz?
I hate tanks, but this one I think I could get used to.
What?
There's nothing
What?
funny about the tools of capitalism.
MST3K fan 77 with 100 bits. I remember when I climbed into a cardboard box and pretended it was a rocket ship.
Let me see it.
Did you guys see Tom Cruise is going to space? Tom Cruise journey to space for his movie is getting real. SpaceX and NASA are teaming up with Tom Cruise to send Tom Cruise to the ISS to shoot a movie. They're planning on doing it. And honestly,
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's weird. It's weird that Tom Cruise is going to be in space. I don't know how I feel about it. Spaceman Spiff. Dr. Gamble, great. And now has Metal Gear memes has become the new Rickroll on Hannah's stream. Hopefully he stays there.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Kyla Kitty, when I was turning 9, I assume you sent that too soon accidentally.
That you feel like you're under duress. Sign the order.
He's going to the one place not corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Sign the order. You're ordered to do so. If you don't, it's contempt of court. The record already reflects you feel like you're under duress. You're not under duress, but you are under court order to sign the order.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
I'm... Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around,
There's nothing funny
but
about
I'm
the
dummy
tools of
thick,
capitalism.
and the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Palian Drone, thank you for following.
I'm escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Space!
Oh, that's good.
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Have a seat. You're in contempt of court. The maximum penalty for contempt of court is 30 days
There's
in jail.
nothing
and a
funny about the
$500
tools
fine.
of capitalism.
I will give you an opportunity to purge yourself of that contempt. I told you, purge means to make the contempt go away.
Am I going to be on the line soon? I'm pretty sure I'm doing it tomorrow. Why? Did it get tweeted out that I'm supposed to be there today? If so, then I gotta get ready. Yeah, this says 10:25, so I think tomorrow I'm gonna be on the line. At least that's what the tweet message says.
Okay, I told you simply to sign your name. All you're doing by signing this is acknowledging you know when your next court date is. Now, your choice is you can either sign this as I told you, just your name, or you can...
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Ammo addicted with 10 bits. Honestly, Hannah, are my Metal Gear Solid memes better or worse than Rick rolls? At least there's variety. It's not just the same thing every time.
Because I just told you to, because it gives you notice when your next court date is.
It only acknowledges that you received a copy of that order telling you when your next court date is in open court. That's
Even the prosecution's like, dude, come on. Don't go to jail for 30 days for not signing this stupid document. Just sign it. Some serious shade being thrown your way. Well, sorry, Daddy Sume.
all it does.
So I'm not going to play games in this regard, which I don't.
There's nothing funny about the tools of
You're
capitalism.
going to either sign that order with...
Flavier with 45 bits. Can I get your opinion on this spell trivia Jeopardy board? I want to know if there's anything else I should put on it. Yeah, I'll click on it in a sec.
Without saying under duress.
Okay, let me see. Just gonna do one team start. Oh god, is this D&D stuff? Transmutation. What is the maximum range of an unmodified message
There's nothing
spell?
funny about the tools of capitalism.
Is it not just on the same plane? Where do I put my answer even? Oh, real correct answer. 120 feet. A message spell? What is message in 5e?
There's nothing funny about the tools.
Does it just let you talk to someone in their head? Maybe I'm confusing it with a different one. Point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. Okay, yeah. Whoops. By the way, I'm the worst wizard, so there's no way I get these right. What's the maximum weight that catapult can launch? Oh, God. I've used this before. I threw some boxes at someone. Is it... I've only used the spell once, though. Is it 100 pounds? Oh, I really suck at this. Can alter self increase the amount of area you can move in a certain period of time when you use it to give yourself an aquatic form? Underwater, yeah, that's like one of the main things you can do with alter self. You can give yourself claws, you can make yourself basically transform into someone else physically, or you can get like gills and webbed fingers and stuff. What? Oh, it does it only do... No, I'm thinking of Investiture and Wind, which gives you a 60-foot speed. I really suck at this. Why did I do a wizard for my first character? That was a bad choice. I'm thinking of sending, yeah. Someone tell me why there's a type of cardboard box called Gaylord boxes. No idea. Daddy Sume, 5 pounds. Yeah. How many additional creatures could you target with a fly spell if you upcast it to 9th level? Oh God, what level's fly on its own? I want to say is fly a 2nd level spell or a 3rd level spell? I'm going to say it's a 2nd level because it doesn't last very long. And then you get an additional person with each level. So 2. So 7? Oh, close. It's a 3rd level spell. I screwed that one up. Transmutation. Can complex items requiring specialized craftsmanship be created by the fabrication spell? No. No, you cannot. What? I'm a bad wizard. I'm sure the questions are good. I'm just real bad at knowing wizard stuff, despite the fact that my character is a wizard.
Or you're going to simply show it's been served and you're going to be held in contempt.
I missed a bit message. Hold on, I'll go back. I'll find it. Kyla Kitty with 15 bits. Saying this again. When I was turning 9, all I wanted for my birthday was a cardboard box, so my grandparents went to Sears to get me a refrigerator box. To date, it was one of the best presents I ever received. Played with that thing till it disintegrated from the rain. It was a house, a spaceship, a race car.
That's right,
pleasant box
propaganda.
tidbit for you. That's cute.
30 days and maybe a $500 fine. I would prefer
Pelican
you
Moose,
just
thanks for
sign the
following.
order. It doesn't take away any of your rights. It doesn't take away any option you have to make any legal arguments that you have. And if they're valid arguments, and again, I want to be clear what I mean by valid argument. It doesn't mean an argument where I agree with you, but means an argument that has some basis in law and fact. You're going to be allowed to put those arguments forth. However, at the same time, you're not going to disrespect this court, and you've been told specifically to sign the order.
I'm not trying to disrespect the court.
Yes, you are, and don't argue with me.
How so?
You can either sign the order, or you can be taken into contempt.
How so?
Sir,
I'm
you
not
better-
arguing with you. You either sign the order, or you're going to go into contempt. Which do you prefer? You sign the order without any editorial comment, just your name, nothing else.
So this is not a battle you're going to win.
It's a contract, right?
No, it's not a contract. It's merely an acknowledgement that you received a copy of the document.
The way the Jeopardy game is supposed to be played in-universe, the player can roll Arcana when they buzz in to try and get hints on the answer. Oh, okay, that's good. And I'm sure someone who's, like, more competent than me will be able to answer those questions. I'm just really bad at being a wizard.
Period. That's
All
it.
you're doing is acknowledging when you have to come back to court.
And it says that on the paper, so...
But to start signing things under duress and everything else shows disrespect to the court. I'm not going to allow it. So your choice is you either play by those rules or you're going to go to jail.
So I can't sign it under UCC 1308.
No.
Okay, here's how it works. You really should talk to a lawyer because your knowledge of the law is, to put up very mildly, extremely lacking. But I don't care. You said, I don't need to convince you. And I also know that you're not interested in being convinced. Are you going to sign it with just your name or do you want to go to jail? That's the choice you have. You have about 10 seconds to decide.
Can I sign it on recording under my name?
There's nothing
and-
funny about the
You've
tools
already-
of
You can sign
capitalism.
your name. This
He's so
proceeding
awful,
is
the
being
prosecution's helping him, yeah.
recorded, both video
Bad.
and audio.
And you could request a copy of the recording by going upstairs
This guy probably
to
has
the
a field
clerk's
day with
office
the terms of
and
service
filling
on
out the
video
form
games.
requesting
There's
a
nothing
copy
funny
of the
about the
hearing.
tools of
You may be
capitalism.
charged for the duplication process.
So my question to you is, and you better answer for your sake, yes, right now. Are you going to sign the order, just simply signing your name, or are you going to go to jail?
I'm going to, I guess, yeah, if that's what you're, I mean, yeah, if that's what you're coercing me to do, then yeah, I have to. I mean, I'm...
Sir,
Okay.
just
nothing
sign
funny
it.
In a
about
way,
the
it is
tools of
coercion because
capitalism.
there's a consequence if you don't.
MST3K fan 77, I'm coming to the point where inebriation will make me post increasingly silly and asinine things. So good night, chat. You're all valid and super cool. I'll be watching, but I'll keep quiet. Have another 100, Hannah. You're the coolest person I don't know. Well, thank you. Thank you for the bits. Drink water. Drink some water. Stay hydrated.
Don't follow my orders.
I'm going to sign the order, then I'm
You're going to sign your name and nothing else. Anything else, you're going to jail.
You guys have,
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Imagine be asked, why are you here in prison? And you're replying, I'm a sovereign citizen that was held in contempt. Yeah.
Okay? The defendant has signed the order with just his name. He's purged himself of the contempt. So we do not need to have anybody come over. I'm not issuing any pretrial release conditions because there's no probable cause. The only authority that I have in this case
There's
is
nothing
requiring
funny
me to come
about the
back,
tools
and I
of
won't have any
capitalism.
authority to do anything else. If at that hearing probable cause is not found, if there's no probable cause, then this case is first appearance today, but the court does not have any authority over you besides tell you to come back, other than conduct inside the court. So you're free to leave unless you have something else you want to raise.
no real other issue.
Okay.
Sir, you better just leave, because if you don't leave, you're going to become a guest of the Mason County Jail.
Well, I was just gonna,
Sir,
I was just
sir.
communicating
Let him-
with
Counselors, don't let him.
directly, sir. I'm just communicating with him directly as a conversation. Calm
This-
down.
We don't have conversations in a
Okay, what do you want to say?
I apologize. I didn't mean anything by it. I do research, and I'm not trying to waste your time, really. I just don't want mine as well. I work, I build houses, I got things to do.
Well, my suggestion to you would be that you should probably spend some time having a brief consultation or a longer consultation with a lawyer. Someone that knows the rules and knows how the courts work and what the law is.
Those people get paid for that. I don't. It's pretty much a waste of my time.
Sit down.
He could have gotten up and walked away. He just had to have a little snarky thing, didn't he? Really? Why?
I purged the one contempt, but I don't need the editorial comment here.
I understand.
Don't talk, unless I say answer a question, don't say a word. I don't need any editorial comment on your part that this is a waste of your time. I don't care if you can believe it. And outside this court, you can say anything you want. You can tell everybody I'm the devil. I don't care. If you have a right to speak, don't say a word.
There's nothing funny about the tools
But
of
inside this
capitalism.
court, you're going to show respect for the court.
Dr.
That means when you're
Gamble,
directed to
so
do something
close.
in the court,
Yeah.
you're going to do it. And right now, what you're going to be directed to do is you may do one of two things. If you want to sit and watch the court proceedings for some reason, I can't imagine you would, then the situation may do so, but don't disrupt the court proceedings. Secondly, if you choose to leave, you may do so as well. But you will not utter a word until you're outside this building, and outside this room, then you can say anything you want. If you violate that, it'll be contempt of court. And because it's occurring in the courtroom, I have the right to impose summary contempt. So those are your options. Either one is fine, but if you start giving the court editorial comment about being duressed or being a waste of your time or whatever, we're going to have a conversation about contempt. People will respect this court whether they want to or not. You're free to leave.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Chickens. Okay.